I'm sorry, we're actually just starting an after show. You're welcome to join us here.
Right. And whatever. Name the name, Ian.
We're rolling now.
Who said Joe Arpaio is a slinger? Ian Freeman. Back it up, Minister.
We're here doing an after show. James is with us. It's his birthday. It's a special James birthday after show. Welcome back to the show. You're asking about who it was that told me that Joe Arpaio was slinging drugs. That was my old drug dealer, actually, who said that. Yeah, he's dead now. Right. So that's a legitimate source that you won't name, but you're naming your old drug dealer as being a legitimate source. You know, Ian Freeman, there are a lot of people who'd like to see Joe Arpaio in jail as well as you, Ian Freeman. I don't want to see people go to jail, really.
If you're fucking a 16-year-old, you should be in jail. Have you been fucking a 16-year-old, Ian Freeman? Is that true, what I read online about you?
Why is that any of your business?
Have you been fucking a 16-year-old?
It's none of your business.
It should be a crime, you little fucking whore. You're a stupid fucking teenager girl. You're a girl putting out for a grown middle-aged man. There are civilized people in this planet that think you're a fucking whore and that he's a criminal.
Why are you so obsessed with this young lady's sex life? Are you having some kind of sexual fantasy about this young woman, and now you're jealous of this? You heard a rumor on the internet that maybe somebody's got a better piece of ass than you, and so you got to call into a radio show, get all frustrated, go talking shit, call people fuckstick, make threats on the internet, offer me a fucking first-class plane ride to some bum fuck. I don't even know where the fuck you live.
You know what I'm talking about. You grew up with those fuck sticks.
Which fuck sticks are you talking about now? Because we had to mute you because you're talking over the host of the fucking show, and it's not working out so well.
Your friends and your family from New York, Chris Cantwell.
What about them?
They're fuck sticks.
They're like fuck sticks? My friends and family from New York are fuck sticks?
That's right.
Yeah?
You're sitting with a guy that's fucking a teenager, and you think it's funny. You think there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, no wonder why you're an atheist a-hole.
Well, look, it's not my value judgment to make.
Criminal.
It's not my value judgment to make, nor is it yours, right?
You're fucking a girl.
Hey,
you're fucking a girl.
James.
There's not something wrong with that in every one of your minds. Then you're not good people.
James,
what?
If it's not a crime, would it be okay?
It's immoral, Mark.
I'm asking a question.
Immoral. I don't
That's
care
not an answer to the question.
Criminality.
Well, apparently you do. You've said it's a crime over and over.
Human beings.
Because it's not a crime.
Immoral.
What's immoral about it? If it's true, what's immoral about it?
It's immoral. Oh, Mark, you are unbelievable, dude. And by the way, Mark, anybody that blames his religion for the crimes he did commit,
what's immoral? It's not Mark asking you, James.
You belonged in jail, Mark, for buying blow when you were 17, witnessing the murder of somebody, and then not telling the
What is immoral about it? Let's stick to one. Let's stick to one topic.
The cops when you witnessed a murder, you still should be in jail for that, you motherfucker.
James, what's immoral?
Loved one, Mark, and you didn't tell the cops the whole truth, nothing but the truth. The terror that would befall your world, making prison look like fucking the Holiday Inn, you piece of shit.
This is a good Christian man, I'd like to say. This man, he has...
I'm Roman Catholic.
Oh, Catholic. Okay.
That explains
Well, there you go.
much.
How much have you had to drink this evening, James?
How many Christians do you think make Christianity the fucking greatest? You know, Mark, you're unbelievable. I actually
have you had to drink this evening?
Not a damn drop, Mark. I'm as passionate like this, whether I'm sober or drunk or haven't drank in fucking
I don't think
years.
passionate is the word that we're looking
for.
for. I think the word that we're looking for is belligerent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you're acknowledging that you're sort of like you're sort of like you're this guy who's sort of regularly belligerent and just calls you. You're so frustrated sitting home wherever it is that you are, miserable, and he's still talking. He has no idea. He's not even calling. It's funny. Like normally, like I call talk radio programs, right? I do this from time to time. I listen to like conservative talk radio, and I call in and I'm like, "Hey, I'd like to get your opinion on this," and then the talk show host hangs up on me and just calls me an idiot, right? Yeah. So, like, this is how talk radio usually works. Now, here you have this, like, extraordinarily opportunity to, like, actually have a conversation with the host of a radio program.
After hours. Uncensored.
I asked a question straight out of the fucking boat, Chris, and he didn't answer it. He said my drug dealer. I paused, waited for an answer, and didn't get one.
What do you want? The guy's social fucking security number? You're the one who's all pissed off.
He's dead. That drug dealer is dead.
That will be a good thing. You're a piece of shit. He's sitting there and makes allegations.
You're going to have to come up with more creative insults. You're going to bore our fucking audience.
Tell me the name, and I'll go straight to the drug dealer's face.
Why would
he's dead?
What do you want?
Tell me the name. Oh, okay, there you go.
Dead.
Don't worry about it then. My sheriff neighbor is a drug dealer, but
fuck your fucking sheriff.
On Friday,
you sound like a guy who's got a real bad case of Stockholm syndrome. I mean, here he is. He went into the jail that this man Joe Arpaio ran. He presumably spent time there, and now he's defending him. He's defending the warden.
Tell you what. Speaking of Sheriff Joe's jail, you should be lucky. You should thank God Free Keen Spiritual Retreat is so nice and it looks like Oz, because you little fucking pussy wouldn't last a day in Tent City. And no, I haven't been there, but I do know people that have.
Oh, you weren't there?
For victimless crimes. No, I haven't been there.
Okay. Where did they take you?
I spent 1 day in jail, and it's called the Horseshoe. Yep, and it's all vehicular-related incidents. Ian, I haven't done anything ever to harm anybody, and I'm not ashamed, and I never smear people on the public airwaves like you have my neighbor, who I despise. I think he's scum of the earth, even worse than you.
I was locked up for several months in New York, and I was locked up with Bloods and Crips and Yetas and Latin Kings and shit, so I think I'd fare just fine in this Keen Spiritual Retreat.
I wish you had never opened your mouth when I called, because I think you're a piece of shit. Straight up.
Well, if you don't want me to open up my mouth when you call into the radio program, you might want to call in on like Thursday through Tuesday or something like that, because this is going to get inconvenient for you on Wednesdays.
I want to know who alleges my neighbor's a drug dealer, and I'll go straight to his face, Chris Cantwell.
Have you even listened? You've asked the same question. I've answered it more than once.
Because you won't answer because you can't tell the truth. You're not a real minister.
First of all, James.
You're not a real minister.
Sure
and you're
I am.
Sleeping with a fucking girl. You're a fucking pig. And Mark, you're sitting there with a guy that sleeps with a girl, and you make fun of me. What the fuck's wrong with you?
How am I making fun of you?
I see a young lady sitting in this room.
I feel terrible
right
for you. You're so upset.
Yeah, she's a young lady.
Yeah.
Ignorant.
Yeah, right. What grade are you in?
Dude, I'm graduated.
Graduated?
That's correct.
Graduated. You mean you graduated like this fall, dude? Or this spring? Or this?
So do you want an answer to your question? Because I'm actually giving you more of an answer than I've ever given on the radio, James. I gave you that. I'm not going to give you his name, but he's dead. James, the drug dealer is dead. You can't talk to his face. He's buried somewhere or has been burned up.
That's all. How convenient is that? He's dead.
Yes, it was very convenient when he was shot in the fucking head for trying to sell somebody some pills a while back. Yes, that was very convenient for him and his family.
What's his name?
None of your damn business, James.
There you go. You're a minister, and you and I both know that that's a tax dodge, a brilliant little tax dodge you and Edge, I'm sure you came up with, by the way, about, hey, let's get a bunch of cultists and have a call to church, and then we don't have to pay taxes.
Why do you listen to Free Talk Live religiously?
Because you can get on the radio.
I really want to know the answer to this question. Why do you religiously listen to Free Talk Live?
That is a profoundly stupid question coming from a fat fucking brain-dead fucking alcoholic. Okay. Why do you go on Free Talk Live?
Well, because I'm a media personality, and this is sort of my MO.
Like probably 30 seconds in my call at about 6:33 this afternoon, Chris Cantwell, because I care about issues I care about, and I call in to talk about them, you fucking retard.
Happy birthday to you. No. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James. Happy birthday to you.
For he's not such a jolly good fellow.
Nothing like a bunch of phony
For he's a belligerent fellow. For he's a belligerent fellow. For he's a belligerent fellow. Which nobody can deny.
I have to say that you witnessed the murder of one of their...
All right, you're repeating yourself. Good night.
How fucking awful.
There you go.
That was fun. I wish we had started airing this like when the call started, because that was a lot more fun.
He was on with us for probably 5 minutes at least straight before we decided to sit down. Because what was happening was Cantwell was shouting at the speakerphone, and you know speakerphones are usually they're not full duplex. So if the caller is continually talking as he was, there was zero chance he was even hearing word one that you were saying. But when we get on the phones in the recording situation, then the audio passes better. So there you go. So there's a little excerpt of what it's like when James from Arizona calls the show.
Are you really
going to
put that on the air?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to put that on. We're going to put that. That's going to be in the podcast tonight.
I will let you guys get back to your after show. I will exit stage left. Thank you so much for
Chris
having
Cantwell.
me. ChristopherCantwell.com.
There you go. All right. We're going to continue. Renee is joining us in here in the studio tonight. Good evening.
Hey, y'all.
I'll actually turn you up here. You've got the feminine voice. You always have to turn up the ladies. So James has accused you of being a girl and
a whore, apparently.
And a whore. And that you are my girlfriend and that you're a teenager. So how much of that is true?
Well, I am a teenager and I am your girlfriend, but I'm certainly not a whore. I'm pretty dedicated.
Now, one of the things that James didn't answer that I was really interested in hearing is he claimed that it was immoral that you and I are together. And I don't know if I agree with that. He didn't explain why that was immoral. But he's not the only person with this particular viewpoint. There have been some comments recently on various different, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. Folks on Stop Free Keene, for instance. They seem to believe that you're just this poor, helpless little girl who can't make decisions for yourself. Like, it's just so sad and tragic that you've fallen in with this crew. That was one of the comments today on Stop Free Keene, that they hope that you can escape from the clutches, and that if they were your age, that it would be really scary to be in this crew. Or
first off, I think we should divulge, what is your age?
I'm 17.
Okay. In this state, a person is there's no emancipation rules, and a person can make the choices with whom they have a relationship at the age of 16, right? Like, nobody can say anything at all. Is that correct?
True.
So you are a year above that age?
I am.
Renee is in complete and full license of her choices to be in a relationship. Right? Like, she made a decision, and she seems to be as in charge as any woman I've ever met in a relationship, which is to say that she controls the way things go in this house. If she wants something done, it gets done. She looks just like any other adult woman in a relationship to me. She seems a little younger and hipper than most, but that's what I see. Does that sound accurate, Renee?
Mostly.
Yeah, mostly. I'm unimpressed with the idea that you are somehow a waif that's unable to make your own decisions.
Here's the exact quote that I was referencing from Stop Free Keene's Ed Lake. He says, I can remember being that age, and this guy's probably in his early 60s. He says, I just can't imagine being that age and being in the middle of a crew like that, talking about the Keene activists. Hope the young lady gets things figured out and escapes that madness without too much permanent damage. How does that make you feel?
A lot of comments on that thread just made me want to vomit. It's not only offensive to you, they're insulting you, which in turn pisses me off, but they're also degrading me. I would like to not be defined by a number. It's irrelevant to who I am. I'm more mentally developed than most my age, and I understand that most teenagers are, stupid. I guess it's unfair to make a call like that, but I understand.
It's your experience, right? Your experience is your experience. And there's a percentage of, there's a percentage of people at a given age that are going to be more mature in some ways, socially or whatever, than others. That is what it is.
I've been called a predator in this particular thread. I've been called a pedophile as well.
Well, that's obviously a factually inaccurate statement.
Well, it's not obvious to a lot of people. But then, it comes right back to the issue of, is Ian a predator? I mean, he has admitted to in the past being involved with some sexual activity at a young age, and so the idea is that first I was a victim and now I am a predator.
Most people who are sexually molested as children do not go on to reoffend. I don't think that that's particularly relevant.
Are you a child, Renee?
No.
No, you look developed to me.
You work, you earn your own money, you're not in high school. I don't really know how to call you anything.
Even
but
people in high school are not children,
Indeed.
in my opinion.
People in college, I mean, why? What's the difference between high school and college?
I just want to know what else these people want from me. I don't know how to prove myself to them. And half
They're
of them,
never
I
going
haven't
to be
even
happy.
met. Right. I haven't even met them. So who are they to sit there and call me a child, say that I'm a victim, say this and say that, when they've never had a conversation with me?
I think that it comes from maybe some negative experiences they might have had as teenagers. Maybe, they got into a relationship where they felt that they weren't treated fairly, or that they were maybe abused in some way because they were young, and they felt that they were taken advantage of. They perhaps were ignorant of certain things about relationships, and maybe they were maybe there was some lecherous person who took advantage of them in their past, and they feel like that's always what happens.
Maybe they just hate you, and they're grasping at whatever straw is available to to do whatever it is they do. Now, I think you had to assume that when you got into a relationship with somebody under the age of 18 that you were going to take some flack, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean, people are very rude and intolerant.
What made you do that?
Because I really like Renee, and we have a good time together.
And this is what
we get along.
This is what has convinced me. Because believe me, I would be the first one. This affects me, right? Like I've got a business.
You're a
partner.
pedophile too, according to the critics.
That's what people will say.
They say everyone in Keene
and Free Keene
is a pedophile if they don't shun me.
But in reality, my business partner has a relationship with a 17-year-old. Ian, have I ever once told you need to get out of a relationship with Renee?
No.
Okay.
No, and you eat her food just like everybody else here.
Right. And the reason is I'm the one closest to the situation, or among those closest to the situation, and those that are close to the situation don't seem to have a problem with it. And the reason they don't have a problem with it is because Renee acts like a grown woman. I mean, if you're claiming that a 17-year-old can't make a decision with whom they're in a relationship with, then you must be making the same claim about an 18-year-old, right?
That's always a good question, right? Like, at what point would it not be a problem?
Because some 17-year-olds have to be able to make that decision, and some 17-year-olds can't. So therefore, some 18-year-olds can, and some 18-year-olds can't. Some 19-year-olds can, some 19-year-olds can't. Some 20-year-olds. I mean, at what age am I a pedophile? I'm 43, so if I pick a girlfriend that's 33, am I a pedophile? 23? 22, 21? I mean, where does it begin?
Were you a pedophile when you were dating a girl at age 19 and what were you, 31, 30?
I think it was, I was like 31 and she was 19.
Yeah.
The reason I went out with her, I felt that she was very mature, and, there was a lot of things that I liked about her. I did not consider
So it wasn't
myself
because she looked like a 6-year-old or something like that.
No.
That would be a pedophile, right? It's like somebody who was attracted to a child. And that's really the insulting part about this to me, I think. Renee, is that people treat you as though you're this non-thing. You're just you have no volition for yourself. You can't make your own decisions until 300 and some more days passes, and I find that very insulting.
So do I. It's totally arbitrary, and I'm so sick of it. I get enough of it. Job discrimination, that happens.
See, this is the bizarre thing here. I just can't come to the conclusion. I can't find my way to the point where I say Ian's at fault or Renee's at fault. I don't see it. I see two people that are happy together. I see two people that have known each other for a long time. Renee, you're not being held hostage. You come and go as you please. I mean, Ian, of anybody on the planet who is not some kind of mind-bending cult leader, I mean, Ian he barely manages to stumble his way through social situations normally, and somehow he's got you brain warped. Of the two people sitting here, I see Renee as better in social situations than I see Ian. So I can't come to the point where I see a problem here. It's not illegal. The biggest problem is that there's a bunch of people that don't like it. They don't like you. Mm-hmm. If they didn't know you, they wouldn't have anything to say, because this is just a cudgel. This is just something that they can use to needle people. It's the best thing they've got. They say that, oh, you're a pedophile. It's nonsense. There's no point to be had here.
I have been so ready to speak out about this for a long time. I'm happy, and I haven't been happy in a long time.
I'm over at the Stop Free Keene. The more recent thread about this, there have been multiple. But, the claim is that, you had a tough home life, and so that's why, I'm a predator, because I've swept in and have, I guess abused you. I don't know what the allegation is here. I guess the idea is that you had a bad home life, so you're looking for some sort of other option.
Who's had a good home life?
My parents were okay.
Well, but I mean, I understand what you're saying. Mine were okay too. You're looking from the lenses of a 33-year-old. What did you think when you were 17?
I'm 34 now.
Whatever you are. Your age is irrelevant really to me. What did you think when you were 17? Did you think that you had a great home life?
It wasn't so bad. I mean, my parents didn't really crack down on me or anything like that, so it was
fine.
All right.
I just think that the majority of people, when they're teenagers, think that their home life isn't so great, and as they get farther and farther from their teen years, they say to themselves, things aren't so bad. But I will admit that certainly there are bad home lives.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I don't know if you've got daddy issues. Who
don't.
knows who does and who doesn't? What's it mean, though?
I don't know either. But our parents are divorced. I mean,
you like the people you like. You like them for the reasons you like them.
Yeah.
There's really nothing that can be done about that. So what? If you either are making a decision of your own volition or you're not.
Is a 20-year-old who would, let's say you left your parents' house, and a 20-year-old was your boyfriend and he took you in or whatever. Does that make him a predator? I mean, at what point is having a relationship that's consensual, that is, a give and take, that is happy for both parties? I mean, where's the predatorialness there exactly?
Hey, just out of curiosity, how many boyfriends? I don't mean sexual relations. I'm just talking about boyfriends. Have you had?
Serious relationships, I'd say probably 2.
So is Ian. You guys are on even ground.
Yeah, but you've had boyfriends. I don't know what you describe as a serious relationship.
Whatever she described it as.
Boyfriends and serious relationship. We're talking like kid stuff here. Like,
yeah,
my kiddie relationship.
She's a lot closer to that than I am.
Did not count.
High school stuff. You're talking about high school stuff?
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm talking about serious relationships that I've had, which I've had 2 of.
Okay.
Other high school, we dated for a week stuff. No, I'm not counting that. That's stupid.
So you're not counting that then, Mark?
No, I'm just saying that if one wants to use arbitrary numbers to decide who's qualified to be in a relationship with whom, you've been in 2 serious relationships. She's been in 2 serious relationships. What's the big deal?
There you go. So I didn't really like the idea of responding to the trolls on this.
I know you didn't want to talk about this, Ian, but
it's not that I don't want to talk about the issue. Obviously, we've talked about the issue before on Free Talk Live. It's just that there's certain people out there like James who was just on the line, who are badgering this particular issue, and you felt, Mark, that it was something that we should address, and Renee agreed. So
yeah, I think
here we are.
Yeah, Renee's a brave woman who is wise beyond her years, in my opinion. But I think that when you're dealing with things, you do have to get out in front of them. Otherwise, it looks like you're hiding them. I wanted the listeners to know that you care enough to...
Well, we certainly weren't hiding anything. I mean, she was at the Porcupine Freedom Festival walking everywhere with me.
But we went to a local masquerade ball.
Dancing at on a box at Buzz's Big Gay Dance Party.
She doesn't have her age put up on her T-shirt. She could be an 18-year-old, which would make it just fine, right?
Oh, yeah, all of a sudden. That'd be... not necessarily, because everybody has their own arbitrary different definitions.
Yeah, but nobody's going to say anything about an 18-year-old because it's legal in all 50 states. You know what I mean? Whereas if you were to drive with Renee somewhere, and I assume you guys have had some kind of physical congress. I have no idea and don't want to know. But if you were to drive some particular state, then it becomes a felony, a high-end felony. In New Hampshire, it's not. I recommend not doing this, not going into the other state and having this particular thing happen. But this is the problem. It's if people knew that it was people thought it was 18. Oh, it's just fine. Oh, good for you, Ian. Right? But when
some
she's
people
17,
would say that
it's a crime.
Well, some people would say that, but there's what is the arbitrary rule? Like if you take your age and divide it in half and subtract 5 or add 5, there's some sort of thing that
divide by 2 and add 7. I think
I think that sounds what it is. Then if it's below that number, then you're sicko or something like that. And I'm sorry, maybe. I just don't think that individuals should be judged based on their age. I think they should be judged based on their actions and based on how they behave and how they treat other people.
It's no better than racism.
And like you said, most of the people who are talking shit about you, they've never even said word one to you directly. They've never even bothered to know anything about you directly and know you personally.
And they act so concerned, but clearly they've never talked to me.
Right.
They've never met me, so clearly they don't actually give shit about me.
They've robbed you of your license to make a decision. They've said that because you are are 17 years old, you can't make a decision. Of course, most of the time they exaggerate and make you younger than you are. I don't know. The next time we turn around, you'll be 9. But this is wholly unacceptable. The fact is that, yeah, Ian, I would say that, most 17-year-olds you shouldn't get in a relationship with. Not because I don't think they can make a decision with whom they're in a relationship with. I think you'd have to probably be have Down syndrome or something to not be able to make that decision, and maybe not even then. But the reason is that it's going to be boring. They're going to want to talk about things that you don't have any interest in. They're not going to have anything to relate to. Renee shares many of your interests, and respects you for your activism. Anybody that respects you, you should be in a relationship with, because they're few.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. I appreciate that. So there you go. That's Renee. Yep, here she is.
Oh, by the way, Renee doesn't even hang out here all the time or anything like that. I've seen Renee out at parties without you. She's completely able to make her own decisions who she hangs out with, and she does get out.
That's one of the things that I like about Renee is that
she's
I've got
not some
a lot
house marm
to do.
tied in here cleaning the house or something.
I've got a lot to do, with my business and everything, and while we certainly appreciate time together, I mean, she's able to go off and do her own thing, and I'm doing my thing, and that's cool. That's it's a level of clinginess that you might not expect from the lack of clinginess, I guess.
So the reason I wanted to have this conversation was to so that the average listener, didn't feel confronted when something, the podcast listener, because this is all this is going out to, didn't feel confronted by this news when and if it comes up on the air. I suspect it will at some point, because there's always people that disagree, and they'll always bring up something that's completely irrelevant.
I'm surprised they haven't actually, thus far.
Yeah, that's why I thought that it was because I think it's going to come up.
Apparently, the Stop Free Keeners are now working to move the bus stop in the neighborhood away from my house. There's an elementary school bus stop that's right out here, right outside. And
this is one of the things that I do appreciate Free Keen for. Is Free Keen gives nimrods, morons, and people that might otherwise get involved in the political process and try to do something. They give them something to do. You're a hobby for the haters. And
it's true.
While the Free State Project is busy going about changing New Hampshire towards more liberty, they're chasing after you like a bunch of Keystone cops.
All right. Any other comments, Renee, that you want to add in here?
Famous last words. I'm happy. I'm safe. I'm fine. Leave me alone. Or if you have something that you insist on saying to Ian about how he's such a pedophile, why don't you take it up with me? I would really like to hear what you have to say and have a conversation with you.
Well, they would love to save you. I mean, presumably, based on their comments on online, they would love the chance to save you. So why wouldn't they sit down? Why wouldn't they, reach out and say, "Hey, Renee,
because they're so concerned.
Let me take you out for a cup of coffee and explain to you why it is this man's a sick cult leader who is taking advantage of you."
Do you drink coffee, Renee?
On occasion.
There you go. She's an adult.
All right, that's it. After show's over, and enjoy the call with Whit there. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see if he calls back with Cantwell on next week. Later.
Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.